Hello, I'm not Chuck, and today I'm in Rocky Springs Campground on the Natchez Trace in southern Mississippi. We're about 50 miles north of Natchez, Mississippi, which is the southern terminus, that is, where the Natchez Trace Parkway actually starts or stops, depending on which way you're going. And when I say we, I mean me, my wife, and my cat Jack. No, not Jack's, not the famous cat, just my sort of unknown cat named Jack. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see what my Jack looks like. As you can see, he is nowhere as big as the famous Jack. He only weighs about 10 pounds and he's about 10 years old. And I had Jack and named him Jack long before I knew about Eric and his famous cat named Jax. So anyway, that settles that. Now, what am I doing? Well, I'm on the way to Lolapalooza. Lolapalooza is a gathering in Cedar Hill State Park, close to Dallas, Texas. It's being organized by Lola of Lost on Land Again. You know her better than you know me. And anyway, she's putting it on, and several of us are planning to be there, maybe 30, 40, 50. I don't know how many. The more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. And today is October the 23rd. It's a Tuesday. We left home yesterday morning, home being in West Tennessee, and we left home about 7 a.m. And as you can see, there was a beautiful sunrise that morning. I'm glad I got to see it, and I'm glad I got it on the dash cam. We went from our home in West Tennessee to our little farm in North Mississippi, picked up a couple of things there, and then got on the Natchez Trace at a town called Tishomingo. Tishomingo was a famous Indian chief years and years ago in the area of northeast Mississippi and northwestern Alabama. So that's where Tishomingo got its name, and in fact our farm is in Tishomingo County. So that's where we got on the trace, and we traveled almost nonstop. We did stop one time in Tupelo, Mississippi to eat lunch. Tupelo is a very nice small town, maybe 60,000 or so, growing pretty fast and a good place to live if you're looking for a place to live in Mississippi. You might want to go to Tupelo, or you might want to stop in Tupelo at least when you're traveling on the trace. There's lots of restaurants there, some fast food and some better restaurants, and some things to see, including the birthplace of, I guess, the most famous Mississippian, maybe the most famous, I think so. Elvis Presley was born in Tupelo. So that's where we stopped for lunch. Then we got back on the trace and headed south and drove really pretty hard to get here. Now, the speed limit on the Natchez Trace is only 50 miles per hour, so I drove right at the speed limit, and that's about as fast as I want to go, maybe 50 or 55. On a better highway, I might go a little more than 50, but that's about as fast as I want to go pulling the travel trailer. My travel trailer is a little bigger than the previous one that I had and lots more comfortable. I'll tell you more about it in another video. So anyway, we're at Rocky Springs Campground at Rocky Springs, Mississippi, and we're about, as I say, about 50 miles north of Natchez. Now, let me pick you up here and give you a look around. This campground is one of two on the Natchez Trace. There's this one, and there's one called Meriwether Lewis Campground. And it's about, it's about mile marker 360, and this one is at mile marker 54, I think. So it's quite a ways north of here. It's a very nice campground. We've stayed there too. And if you get a chance to travel to Natchez Trace, you might want to time your trip to stop and stay at either Meriwether Lewis or Rocky Springs. Now, Rocky Springs is in the middle of a area where they're doing some paving on the trace. I think there's a 14-mile strip. So in the process of paving the trace, they're also repaving some of the roads in the campground. And there were not many people in the campground last night, and I haven't heard or seen many leaving this morning. But it is a nice campground, and as you can see, the leaves have not changed color here. They should have by now. Next to the last week in October, we should be seeing some beautiful fall foliage. But we've had a really warm and late autumn, and they just haven't turned yet. They'll probably turn fast. The low last night was in the 40s, and the high today is expected to be in the mid-60s. It was a great night's sleep. I woke up this morning to hear, early enough to hear the morning birds chirping and squirrels barking at my cat Jack, crows calling, and actually before I got out of bed, I heard a hoot owl off in the distance. Woodpeckers pecking around for breakfast on the trees. There you can see one of the barricades that they had set up while they were repaving the road here. So anyway, that's where we are. There's not a lot to see here at Rocky Springs Campground. It's just a back-to-nature type place. It does have bathrooms. I think there are 2 sets of bathrooms, or maybe 3. There are no showers, but there is hot water. And, the best thing about Meriwether Lewis and Rocky Springs Campground is that they are both free. That's right, free. Now, it's dry camping. There are no hookups. But, man, what a nice place. If we weren't in such a hurry to get to Texas, I'd certainly want to spend at least one more night here at Rocky Springs. We're going on down to Natchez today. My wife is a big fan of early American architecture. Of course, that's where some of the most beautiful homes in the country are located, is in Natchez.